rocks do hurt. This is a trail you haven't seen before because it's my first time here, and in fact it's not a trail, it's a track. It's a small turn track that we were invited to come out and play on, and it's awesome. And just in front of me, that's Lance trying to show me how to do this jump, which I'm not doing very well because I'm not getting enough speed and it's just intimidating. And you're asking, why is it intimidating? I have no idea because it's not much of a jump. You've heard me say many times I don't know anything about jumping a bike, and I don't. And it's not so much the jumping part, it's the landing part. That's the part that gets me. I suspect that had I learned to jump a bike when I was much younger, I would probably feel much better about it. But I didn't, and I don't. That said, practice is what's needed, so I'm just going to keep practicing here until I figure it out. This is earlier before I started trying to actually jump it, but this is what I typically do when I come up to a jump. But Corey's kind of goaded me into it, as has Lance, who's going to try and drag me around the track to show me how to do it. He's got lots of patience. I'm just a difficult student. Saying I'm a difficult student isn't really fair. I just have my own way of approaching things, and I need to think my way through. I can't just do it. I'm not Nike. So here's the progression of me trying to make this little jump. It's just a gap jump. It's nothing significant, and once I figure out that even if you case it, it doesn't matter because it's so small, then I just keep upping the speeds. That said, Lance has gotten tired of my slow adaptive learning process and tries to put me in the woods. I'm kidding, of course. Here's Lance trying to show me how it's done by giving a little suspension bounce.
Even if you come up short, it won't do anything.
Okay, here's my best effort.
I need third gear.
I don't need third gear, I just need to twist the throttle, but here's what I'd like to be able to do. But what I don't have is the timing to do doubles and then into a set of rollers of any kind, so I should probably keep it to little things like that and like this. Well, that wasn't bad. See, I'm learning. I really do love a track like this because, like I said, I like sets and reps, and a small course like this just allows me to do several orbits. One of the things that I'm challenged by is the cardio that it takes to keep a good pace going here, and another thing I still need to work on are turns. Finding that race line and being able to keep the front end planted. Got a little bit better at it, but it wasn't the focus of my day today. It was really just trying to get that one jump before we moved on to do some riding elsewhere, which is coming right up.
Let this hand come back.
We did play around a little bit longer, but then we loaded up the trucks and moved about 15 or so minutes away from that location to get here. And this is another area that I've never ridden. I've ridden around this, but I didn't know this was here. And thanks to the guys for showing it to us. This is amazing, and there's maybe some room to do a little expansion and keep adding to the track. Maybe we'll go help them out. These trails were reminding me of some trails I rode in Nova Scotia around the Coldbrook area. Kind of open and flowy, and once you knew the lay of the track itself, which wasn't super long, you could go pretty fast. two-stroke stalled. That never happens. I'm not too much into the two-stroke versus four-stroke camps. I'd be happy to ride either one. I just happen to ride two-strokes for the most part right now because it suits most of what I'm doing. Another thing I'm not too much into is wraparounds versus flags. I'm not quite sure, but right here in a second, I almost would have preferred to have wraparounds because I almost crushed my hand. Well, that just caught the very end of the bar, and I do have a butt plug kind of thing, although a very small one for most of what you guys would be used to. And it does protect the bars and protects, well, just the bars. Not your fingers, because if my pinky had been out there on the end, I would have smashed it, and then I would be wincing and whining like Colin on every ride about his pinky. Kind of like two-stroke versus four-stroke. I'm not sure I have an opinion on flags versus wraparounds. I run wraparounds on my other bike, and I like them for that. It does make the handlebars wider, which I don't like, and I kind of like how the flags allow you to slide by things as opposed to punching into them and getting immediately ejected off the bike. So they have their pros and cons for each one. In just a second, you're going to see some logs sticking out on the trail. That white one right there. On subsequent laps, I come around and I catch the shroud by my radiator on it and drive the plastic into the radiator in between the fork and actually break the plastic a little bit, but not so much that I couldn't do a trailside repair. It's just the first broken plastic on this bike, other than the flag that I broke before. Now I'm riding the 2019 flags from my other bike on this 23XE. Greta would be so proud of me for recycling and reusing plastics. We're a pretty good sized group today, and well, here they are. So guys, meet the internet, although a very, very small slice of it. Probably you guys watching yourselves ride bikes on my channel, but that's why I do these videos, so we can see ourselves in our heroic moments. Despite running a worn-out IRC V33S, it still climbs hills pretty good. I just took it off last night, and despite it missing some chunks, it still works.
Oh.
That was my aforementioned broken piece of plastic. I was able to put the screw back through and it's held. It's broken inside on the tab by the radiator as well, but that's alright. For a third location, we rode the bikes down some double track and got to this pit where we played around for a little while. But by then it was starting to get a bit cold, and I think everyone had their fill, so we ended up turning around and heading back for the trucks.
That fucker. That's what I hit.
It's getting cold and the sun stays low in the sky now, so the season's just about done before we flip over to the studded tires and winter riding. And that's going to take a little bit of time and a bit of adjustment. But that's this ride, and we'll see you on the next.